what we need to realize is that electromagnetism is not just the electromagnetic field of the planet. It's also consciousness. The human mind at the human level is actually an electromagnetic field. And some documents, CIA documents, have been circulating on the internet recently, basically to that extent. I've been talking about the fact that the human body is a biological computer, and the consciousness is part of the whole setup as an electromagnetic field. The brain is just a processor of information. It's not where consciousness comes from. That's why they can't find consciousness in the brain. It's an electromagnetic field. And you also have collectively these 5G, and now Trump's gave the big go-ahead to 6G. Of course he has. 6G is a big, massive turning point in all this. And they're pouring out 5G, 6G in the cities and the towns.
The fourth industrial revolution will impact our lives completely. It will not only change how we communicate, how we produce, how we consume. It will change actually us, our own identity, and of course gives life to such policies and developments like smart traffic, smart government, smart cities. What we will see is that everything will be integrated into an ecosystem driven by big data and driven particularly by close cooperation also of governments with business, civil society. And this revolution will come at a breathtaking speed. It will be like a tsunami.
The human mind at the human level is actually an electromagnetic field. And some documents, CIA documents, have been circulating on the internet recently, basically to that extent. I've been talking about the fact that the human body is a biological computer, and the consciousness is part of the whole setup as an electromagnetic field. The brain is just a processor of information. It's not where consciousness comes from.
33rd degree Masons study texts about magnetism that the public will never see. Certain Rosicrucian lineages maintain practices of magnetic manipulation transmitted orally since the Middle Ages. Even more secret groups, whose names cannot be mentioned, guard the final keys to complete mastery of the human magnetic field. The question you should be asking is not whether this is true, but why this knowledge has been so carefully hidden. The answer is simple and disturbing. A humanity conscious of its inherent magnetic power could not be controlled. People who understand how to strengthen and direct their magnetic fields become immune to manipulation. They do not become ill easily. They do not age at the normal rate. They develop capacities that defy the accepted limitations of the human condition. This is exactly why this knowledge remains restricted to the highest degrees of initiatic orders, while common humanity continues ignorant of its true energetic potential. Magnetism, considered in ancient traditions as a sacred science, was associated from early times with Egypt and Greece. Authors like Manly P. Hall mention that, in these contexts, it was understood primarily as a healing resource, and that Pythagoras would have inherited this knowledge. Hieratic texts mention the Neteru, deities of ancient Egypt, associated with the transmission of sacred knowledge to the first initiates. In later esoteric traditions, this teaching was related to the concept of Sikkim, symbolically understood as the vital force that animates matter. Over time, part of this knowledge was forgotten and taken up again in different traditions, such as among Arabs, Rosicrucians, and alchemists. In traditions linked to Egypt and transmitted by Pythagoras, there was talk of the existence of therapeutic practices based on the contemplation of geometric solids, cubes, octahedrons, and other perfect forms were placed on pedestals for the sick to observe them, believing that their symmetry transmitted order and harmony to the human magnetic field. For Hall, each form in nature, natural or artificial, possesses an energy field, and by fixing the mind on perfect proportions, the individual would benefit from this balance. Hall describes that each human being is surrounded by a magnetic field or etheric atmosphere, an egg of energy that protects and sustains health. This field is fed by solar currents that enter through the top of the head, travel through the body, and are released again through the lower centers. The integrity of this flow is seen as essential for physical and moral vitality. Although esoteric traditions have associated Egyptian symbols with this process, Hall does not specifically identify the Eye of Horus as a magnetic diagram, but emphasizes the relationship between solar energy, the human body, and inner harmony. Imhotep is remembered as an architect and sage, and centuries later he was venerated as a patron of medicine. In his reading, Hall does not describe the pyramids as magnetic machines, but sees magnetism as a universal principle present in all forms of nature, from the smallest atom to the great celestial bodies. For him, each form, natural or created by man, possesses its own magnetic field,